Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. My name is Bob Powell, and I'm standing here in front of the ice tree in Alpena, Michigan. For those that don't know where Alpena, Michigan is, it's at the 45th parallel, exactly halfway between the equator and the North Pole. And it's currently a balmy 16 degrees. Yeah. So let's get right to this interview. This is an astonishing interview with former CIA operative Jim Garrow, and he's got more details on what Obama has planned for the United States, and it includes a currency collapse that is going to be orchestrated by China and Russia. And in the second part of the interview, Jim has a story that is literally out of this world. This is one show that you don't want to miss. So let's get right to it. I got to get indoors because I'm freezing. We got to get to it before global warming kills us all.
Places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute. That powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
My guest this evening is Dr. Jim Garrow. Dr. Garrow is a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. He's a humanitarian, a philanthropist, and the man whose Pink Pagoda Agency and schools have saved more than 40,000 unwanted Chinese girls. Now, while he was going about God's work saving those little girls from China's oppressive one-child policy, he was also an operative for the CIA. Jim's been on the show several times, and he revealed the now famous litmus test that's supposed to determine which of the nation's military officers will fire on American citizens if they are given such a treasonous order. And he also revealed Obama's plans to use his 70-agency Department of Homeland Security to act as his private army, his brown shirts, to enforce his Marxist Muslim takeover of this country. Now, you can watch these shows by clicking this link right here. Now, the last time Jim was on the show, he shocked us when he blew the lid off of Obama's failed false flag, his latest failure. It seems like this guy is nothing but a string of failures. You know, if he wasn't being supported by the devil himself, I don't think that he'd ever get anything done the right way. But this failed false flag, it seems that Barry had plans to nuke the United States, to destroy us, send us back to the 1800s with the use of electromagnetic pulse bombs. Now, thank God, and 3 brave flag and general officers, Obama failed. Once again, he failed to get control of the nuclear weapons that he had planned to use to create this electromagnetic pulse attack. And, I've believed that an electromagnetic pulse is how the powers that be are going to destroy this country. You know, the United States is not really mentioned anywhere in the book of Revelation. Okay, after the Whore of Babylon is destroyed, the late Patrick Heron was on the Truth is Viral. You can watch this one right here, talking about how New York City is the Whore of Babylon. But after the Whore of Babylon is destroyed, there's no mention of the United States in prophecy, and I believe that's because we no longer exist as a world power. Now, I think that an electromagnetic pulse is the way that they're going to go because, nukes are bad. Okay. You know, they don't really want to start an all-out nuclear war because it would contaminate the surface of the planet. And, no matter how evil these bastards are, they've still got to eat. That means they need farmland. So I don't think that nuclear weapons would be their weapon of choice. I don't think that a biological or a viral attack would be the weapon of choice either, because viruses can mutate. Okay, they may have a serum, antiviral drug for this particular pathogen that they, want to sick on us. They, give us some swine flu every now and then, but those, they won't necessarily have a cure for the virus when it mutates, and viruses always mutate. Nature finds a way. So, the Occam's razor way, the easiest way to implement the Agenda 21 depopulation program, the one that's found on the Georgia Guidestones to keep the world population at a manageable 500 million, in my opinion, is an electromagnetic pulse. Because another former CIA spy, Reza Khalili, and Dr. Peter Vincent Pry have been on the show. You can watch that one by clicking right here, talking about how an electromagnetic pulse would kill up to 90% of the population of this country. And Reza Khalili was a CIA spy in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Obama's, getting real buddy with them, sending Valerie Jarrett over there to broker secret deals. And Dr. Peter Vincent Pry is the head of Impact America, and they're both of these men are on the Congressional Electromagnetic Pulse Commission. So these are guys that you want to pay attention to. And another guy that you want to pay attention to is my guest tonight. His name's Dr. Jim Garrow. And when I was just a little baby journalist down in Florida, the editor of a little weekly newspaper called The Mirror, my editor, her name was Nina, told me that vet your sources, Bobby, she said, and two sources are always better than one. Well, I've not only vetted Dr. Jim Garrow. All of the information that he's disclosed to me on this program in the past has panned out and has been verified by other sources. I trust Dr. Garrow as much as I trust anybody. I know him to be a good man. I know him to be a man of God and a friend to humanity. Now, what Dr. Garrow has to tell us tonight in this episode of The Truth is Viral, to be honest, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to swallow. But I've been receiving corroborating information from other vectors. And I know that the technology that they want to use to pull this new false flag off exists. And 2014 is going to be a very exciting year. And here to tell us what he knows about 2014 is our friend Dr. Jim Garrow. Dr. Jim, thank you for coming back to The Truth is Viral, brother. It's always an honor to have you on the show.
Glad to be here. I love your introduction. Man, you made me sound like a good dude. This is good.
Well, you really are a good dude. And let me tell you something, brother. That is one epic beard. Okay, I'm not sure whether I want to go with Walt Whitman or Grizzly Adams, but man, I love it. That is awesome. Is it keeping you warm?
Somebody said yesterday, he said, you look like, what's that guy's name? Karl Marx. No!
No, that's the wrong one. Okay. Yeah, well, Jim, tell us what's going on. What's the latest news out of this craziness in Washington, D.C.?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, generally. And Mr. Amateur Obama, of course, has had his fingers in all sorts of pies and made all sorts of promises over time. We're now headed for year 6 under this despot, and he has sold us out in more ways than you can think of, made more agreements than you'll ever believe. But we got a hint. Thanks to an open mic and a cameraman who left his camera on. And Mr. Obama is seen talking to the Prime Minister of Russia, and asking that a message be passed on to, as the Prime Minister called him, Vladimir. And he was glad to pass this message on, that after the election, after he won the election, Mr. Obama would have more flexibility. Now, what is the flexibility he was referring to? And this tale of terror, how long has this been going on? What is the cooperation that the two of them are working out with each other, and how does that play out for the rest of the world? Well, what was being referred to was the expansionist policies that Putin wanted to put in place, because his vision is to recreate the USSR. It's to bring back into the fold the countries that previously made up the USSR. And of course, critical to all of this is going to be his ability to shut off, are you ready, the gas that heats Europe, which means the European states are going to shut up and say nothing as he moves and expands back into the old USSR. So the very first move we see is, of course, his move into the Ukraine, into Crimea, where, of course, all of those pipelines flow through that feed Europe the natural gas out of the Baltic or the Black Sea, sorry. So that's one essence of what's going on, but there's more. There's so much more. If you want, I'll stop there and let you. I know you've got lots of information at your beck and call. So.
Oh, I've got. I wanted to start out. This is such a serious subject, but I'd like to start out with a joke. Okay, let's knock joke. Okay, pretend you're Obama and I'll be Putin. Okay.
Okay.
Knock.
Who's there?
Crimea.
What Crimea? Who?
Crimea River. Putin is just kind of bitch slapping Barry around, isn't he?
Well,
yeah. But here's my question, Jim. We know that Obama is a communist plant, right?
Yes.
So how is this working out with with him being a communist plant? Whose communist is he? Is he Putin's communist? Because Obama has invited the Russians to train jointly with United States forces. Last year they were at NORAD enjoying a baseball game and a tour of our most secret facilities. I've seen them here in Alpena myself. This is the home of the Alpena Combat Readiness Training Center, and they've got the largest air combat training area east of the Mississippi, and the longest runway east of the Mississippi. So it's a considerable presence that they've got here, and I've seen these Russian troops myself. And but I'm having a problem with this. Obama's a commie. We know this, and is what we see on CNN and MSNBC and Fox and all this, is this a show, for the masses, and they've really got some kind of alternate deal going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been very crafty. His ideology is one that he doesn't. Let's just say this: he doesn't know what an American is. He doesn't know how to act like an American. He doesn't know what to believe as an American. So he doesn't present as an American. So he has constantly to be coached as to how he should act and what he should say. Otherwise, the totalitarian, that's what I like to call him, by the way. You mix up the Muslim part of him and you throw in the Marxist part of him. And what do you got? You got a totalitarian with a tendency to chop off heads. That's the other side of it. But yeah, there he is. He has no idea how to act. But he is dedicated to the overthrow of America. He has, since the early years, as he was taught, America is an evil thing. It is the great Satan on the Muslim side, and on the commie side from his grandparents. He was taught that the proletariat would rise up against the bourgeoisie, and the worker state could be brought to bear in the United States. And of course, that's what he partly what he's after. Now, that's after he becomes the 12th Imam.
Okay, now I need to know about this because Reza Khalili, the CIA spy that I was telling you about and my viewers about earlier, translated a video. It's called "The Coming Is Upon Us," and if my viewers want to click this link right here, it'll open up a new tab and you can watch that. And this is a very interesting video because it is sponsored by the state of Iran, by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay, this is their official policy, folks, and they are telling their populace to expect the return of Imam Mahdi at any time. And what you've seen on this show 100 times, that Obama's got this little backdoor deal going with Iran, okay? Because not only, number one, is he a Muslim, but Valerie Jarrett is a dual Iranian-American citizen. And Reza Khalili, revealed on this show in the episode that I put up earlier, that Valerie Jarrett has been conducting her own shuttle diplomacy in the Middle East, going to Iran and meeting with Iranian officials in Doha, Qatar, and they're crafting secret deals. As a matter of fact, this deal that they just signed, this travesty, as Benjamin Netanyahu called it, you can't even read it. Nobody can read it because it's locked up under secret lock and key. The Iranians, the Obama administration says, well, this shuts down their program. They can't enrich any more uranium. And the Iranian says, yeah, right, buddy. So nobody knows what's in this agreement. But
wait, we do.
Yeah.
Bobby, wait.
Okay. What is
Iran has said very clearly they gave up nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Including, there's no stalling of their nuclear program. There's nothing. So I would believe the Iranians before I believed Obama.
I would believe just about anybody before I believe Obama. I'll tell you the truth. But I see the Isaiah 17 prophecy. It is going to be coming to pass here soon, because we see how Russia is being pulled into the Middle East. Okay, first in Syria, where their only warm water port is in Tartus. Now, so that gives them the reason to defend Bashar al-Assad. And another very important reason is the Leviathan gas fields that are in the Mediterranean, just off the coast of Israel and Lebanon, with a Shia-friendly government in Lebanon, controlled by the Shia government in Syria. Well, then Syria's got access to those natural gas fields, and so does Russia. Okay, they've got those contracts too. Now, energy is also a very important part in Russia's involvement in Crimea, because they've got huge deposits of natural gas, and there's some pipelines running through there too. But Jim, let's talk for a second about Russia's involvement in the near Middle East. What do you see as their next step? What are they going to do? Obama has told them, well, this is unacceptable, and we're going to get together with our allies and draft a letter to say that this is unacceptable. Of course, they can't get anything through the United.
Sock puppet.
Yeah,
this is unacceptable.
Yeah, they can't get anything through the United Nations because, of course, Russia has a veto on the Security Council. So there's nothing that the United States can do. So now that Russia's got a really good firm foothold in Crimea, and it looks like they might be wanting the eastern part of the entire country of Ukraine too. What do you think that Putin's next move is going to be?
Well, Putin has a bit of a problem right now because he did slap the little dude Obama around with this maneuver. And keep in mind that promise that there would be more flexibility meant that Putin would have more flexibility without Obama doing anything. So there was not going to be a challenge to this expansionist policy and moving into Crimea. But you know what the promise was on the other side of the agenda? This is, keep in mind, this is the American president who's supposed to strike deals that will be beneficial to the American people and American interests. Okay, so what did he bargain away? What did he give away in order to get this assurance? Well, here it is. He asked that the Muslims in Russia and other countries, if he was going to expand, Putin was going to expand back into these countries of the old USSR, that he would guarantee the safety and security of the Muslims. Does that sound like something beneficial to America right now?
Not particularly, no.
No, and that's exactly what was asked for. And so what happened? Well, as soon as he moved into Ukraine, you know the first people he started to slaughter?
The Muslims.
The Muslims.
Yeah.
So poor Obama now has not only, he's been slapped silly, he's got egg in his face. He doesn't know what to do. He's never been in a power position. He's never been in a control position. He's never known how to bargain. And the man has been, he never failed in his life. So now, look at this one. This is a huge diplomatic failure. And the trouble is, other people know about it. China knows about it. They know what the deal was because China now is working with Russia against American interests. Now, that's one thing Obama was successful in doing, bringing the two adversaries, China and Russia, together under a collective interest. And the collective interest, of course, is taking away the power of America across the world.
Now, why would China want to do that? They hold most of our debt. You know, if the United States goes broke, Walmart is out of business, and
well, wait though. There's a big shiny star on the horizon for this group in China. The guarantee is this, and this is, boy, another agreement you won't find. It's like under lock and key as well. The guarantee for the loans that were given to America, based on a dollar, of course, that has nothing but heirs supporting it, and the world knows that. That's another part of what the agreement is that we'll finish off with in a minute. But China does understand that the world currency is going to have a reset. First of all, the American dollar is going to crash. Once that does, there'll be a reset. And the bargain is this. Here's the deal. The deal is that the renminbi, yuan, the Chinese currency, which is now pegged at about 6 to 1. So it takes 6 Chinese dollars to buy an American dollar. The guarantee is this: when the reset happens, the Chinese dollar and the American dollar will be at par. We will be now 18.85% of the value of the dollar of today.
Okay, well, Jim, let me ask you a question. Wouldn't an electromagnetic pulse be a good way to absolutely just crash our market? I mean, all of our money is in ones and zeros.
Yeah, but that'll happen after. The EMP now, I can understand why he's waiting. The EMP will happen after the reset of the dollar. So when we're down, when the stuff has been kicked out of us, he will then wipe out 300 million people over the 2 years following the EMP device. Of course, and we know that that's the projection.
Yeah, and that's an awful lot of people. Well, Jim, let me ask you a question. There's
oh, can we finish? Let me just finish that one thing. So to satisfy the debt, because China's not stupid. I mean, if suddenly the two are going to be at par, well, now they've got a problem. They have been given the promissory note on the natural resources that reside in, under, and above the lands that are federal across the United States. Federal lands across the United States, natural resources that sit on federal lands, have been promised to China. Now, think about this. Boots on the ground are going to be needed because possession is 9/10 of the law. You have to possess something. If you've been given it, right, in satisfaction of the debt, you must go and possess it. So that's why there are 250,000 Chinese troops in America right now. You can't tell who they are because they look like students. They look like business people. They look like all sorts of folks, tourists, whatever. There are 250,000 of them in the United States, ready to move, to be the boots on the ground, to take possession of the natural resources.
Wow. You know, Reza had told me that there were about 30 to 40,000 Iranians in the country with the exact same mission. And, you know, he was also telling me how they are trained to take down individual power stations and just create mayhem. Matter of fact,
Did he mention the assassin squad? Because the Iranians have that, the assassin squad. So their role is to take out influential leaders across America.
Right.
That's their role.
Yeah, and these guys are also, just recently there have been attacks on power stations. One of them was a nuclear power station, and the other one was in California, and it was a sniper attack. And what they were doing was they were using AK-47s to shoot at the transformers. And if you take, and this was in Silicon Valley, I believe, and if you take down one transformer, it takes down the next one and the next one and the next one. So this entire area of California could have gone dark just from a simple sniper attack from little 7.62 AK round. So that's what these guys are in the United States to do, is just create general mayhem. And but 250,000, Jim, that's an awful lot. Where are they hiding? I mean,
well, like I said, they're students.
Yeah.
They're business people. They're tourists. But they are, in fact, here in the United States. They're ready. They're ready to move toward whatever targets they've been given. And the targets are key natural resources that are on federal lands. But again, they're there to possess it. What authority would they have? Well, they'll have the authority that they get when the blue helmets come in to enforce international treaty and enforce the promissory notes that China has given by President Obama.
Yeah, well, I wish them luck with that, because not only is every patriot that I know itching to put a blue helmet on his wall, but I just recently saw a video of some LA gangbangers that were in Syria, and they were fighting for President Assad against the Al-Qaeda terrorists that Obama has been sitting in there. And it was hilarious. These guys were all like, "Hey, don't say trece, homie." It was awesome. Because these guys were Armenians, and the Armenians, they had grown up in a barrio, and the Armenians had been slaughtered by Muslims, about 100 years ago. So yeah, they got beef going back a long way. But there's something, Jim, that I really been itching to talk to you about. It's about Obama and fake alien invasion.
A fake alien invasion. Yeah, we've been expecting that one, haven't we? We'll get back to Dr. Jim Garrow in just a minute. I would like to remind everybody, though, to subscribe to The Truth is Viral at bobpowell.blogspot.com. Keep yourself up to date with the latest happenings. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and don't forget to share the show everywhere you go. We've got to get this truth out there. And the only way that we're going to do that is to truly make it viral, and that's on you guys. I'm going to, at the end of this show, explain to everybody why I'm sitting here in a bar drinking this really nasty beer. It's National 312 Day. They are giving away this beer. It's not very good. I think I'm going to stick with Budweiser. But yeah, my OGs are going to want to stick around for the end of the show. And don't forget to click on the advertisements. Every 1/10 of a cent helps. It's only going to take a second out of your day. Okay? And it will really help us, keep the truth alive. So let's get right back to this interview with Dr. Jim Garrow. As I promised, the information that he has to share is literally out of this world.
Yeah, I need to know everything that there is about this. Please.
Well, this is a simple plan, and keep in mind that you've got everybody's colluding in on this one, because this will give Obama the opportunity to give himself a place in history. Too many people know that it was totally a fake. It was a bought thing when he got the Nobel Peace Prize. That was a total purchase, bargained for and delivered by Madeleine Albright.
Speaking of, don't mean to interrupt you, but speaking of Nobel Peace Prize, the day that he went there, that blue spiral appeared in the sky. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, that wouldn't be a sign, would it?
Well, no, of course not. It's definitely a failed Russian rocket. Yeah, that's obviously what it was.
So
but
here we have the deal that's been given to Obama. Yeah, he has been given the assignment, the task, in order to put his place in history. This is going to be the defining moment for Obama that separates him from everybody. There will be an announcement soon that there has been contact on a number of different fronts with a number of different nations by alien life forms, and that Mr. Obama has been asked by the collective community of the world, the United Nations included, to be the spokesperson for the world to this alien race. And of course, the alien race has also requested that the most powerful nation in the world be represented as the people that they want to talk to. So this will fix in time and space the fact that the alien presence is going to be made known to the rest of the world, all over the world at the same time, and that Mr. Obama has been chosen to be the one to communicate, to be the communicator between the alien race, and to introduce the concept, too, that a technology which was developed in North America, a technology that was used to go trans-dimensionally, because that's been the difficulty. That's why they don't show up all over the place. That there is a different dimension that they exist in than ours. But there has been a breakthrough in a device that allows communication between them. And better than that, there's been another breakthrough, and that's why this is now necessary to bring it to the fore. And I believe the announcement's supposed to be made, you're going to laugh, in Roswell, New Mexico, Area 51.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that a riot? Anyway.
Well, that absolutely corroborates with another expert that I've had on the show, Dr. Chuck Missler. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's one of the leading theologians in the country. He was the chief executive officer of several publicly traded defense contractors. He worked in top secret acquisitions, let's say, for the United States Air Force and other intelligence communities. You can watch that episode by clicking that link right there. Very interesting, very smart man, Dr. Missler. And
well, if you don't mind, Bobby,
sure.
Next time you see him, next time you chat with him, remind him we've met.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I will. Matter of fact, I'd love to have you guys on the show at the same time one day. That would be awesome. But yeah, he's also of the opinion that quote unquote UFOs are not intergalactic vehicles being driven by little green men, but they are instead vehicles, interdimensional vehicles that are being piloted by fallen angels. This is all fallen angel technology that we're talking about now.
Okay, and I've got to say this, that I totally agree. It is both demonic and fallen angel, because the two work synonymously together.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, and we're being bombarded with this. We're being trained and inculcated with images on television all the time. The History Channel now has History Channel 2, where it's nonstop ancient aliens with Giorgio Tsoukalos or whatever his name is, with the hair, right? You know, and the ugly brown suit. He needs to get a new suit. But yeah, so yeah, you got that going on all the time. Ancient aliens on the History Channel. Ronald Reagan, famously wondered what it would be like, what it would take to get everybody on the planet to work together. And he said it would take an alien invasion. Economist Paul Krugman has been all over the place here lately, talking about how an alien invasion is just what the economy needs to give it a kick in the butt. And images of Christ and the Virgin Mary have been appearing all over the world. And I've got to ask: is this are these real apparitions or an example of Bluebeam technology? And I understand that you can't talk about Project Bluebeam because you've got a history with it, but this Project Bluebeam does exist. And as a matter of fact, the United States Army nearly used it during the first Gulf War to throw up a hologram of Allah in the skies over Iraq to make the Iraqi army surrender and turn on Saddam Hussein. They did the same thing in Cuba, or almost did the same thing in Cuba. But yeah, the holographic technology that we can see, that's being demonstrated at science fairs. Whatever they show us, that they've got technology that's 50 to 100 years more advanced. Okay, you just know that they do. Now, Jim, how is... I understand there are limitations on what you can talk about, but how is Obama going to sell this to the world? How is he going to, explain... is it going to be like a fake alien invasion? Is it a fake rapture? Because I've heard kind of both scenarios.
Well, I like the way you set this up, because you mentioned the fact of technologies that will be 50 to 100 years ahead, and that's part of it. It'll be to the advantage of the world for mankind to work very closely with this alien presence, and of course the benefit to mankind, because they'll have to be given up something. Something will have to be given up, and that will be the key for Obama as the great salesman, or should I call him the great teleprompter reader, where he'll have a chance to, by the scripting of whoever writes his stuff for the teleprompter, he'll be able to sell to the world the notion that there are great advantages for the immediate advancement of mankind. It's got to be immediate. And of course, there has to be an immediate something, some disaster, some crisis, some impending doom. Maybe it's a meteor, maybe it's, who knows what it will be, but it'll be something that presents itself so that the collective working together of the alien and the human will save humanity in some way. So there's that. There's the acceptance of new technologies, and then a disaster or impending disaster that'll cause a cooperation between the two. And the thing is, people will put aside all sorts of crazy arguments and questioning if they think there's impending doom. Immediately, he won't have to answer all sorts of things. Theological questions, all sorts of questions will be set aside, because suddenly there'll be a focus on, they've got this that can help us. Well, let's work with them.
Yeah, well, I can imagine, he's got good reason to be afraid, because a poll just came out today. His approval rating is the lowest it's ever been, 38%. I've lost track of how many impeachable scandals his administration is involved in. We got Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal. I just loved Lois Lerner's testimony. I plead the fifth, and I plead the fifth, and I plead the fifth, and and then Benghazi and the murder of Anwar al-Awlaki.
Well, Bobby, remember that he trained us well. This has been a training of the American people in preparation for the next step, always the next step. He started training us with the TSA. That was where he started. The TSA violated our rights at every turn. Every turn. Every right we have. You open your mouth to a TSA, guess what? They arrest you. You get your life disrupted totally if you question someone in the TSA. If you refuse, your rights are taken away. So the TSA are the great experiment that showed him that he could get away with anything. Nobody's going to stand up. Nobody.
Well, Well, I'm standing up. You're standing up. There's a lot of brave patriots out there standing up, and Colonel Harry Riley is hoping that 30 million American patriots are going to be standing up come May 16th for Operation American Spring. And, a few weeks ago, I published an episode that linked Major General Paul Vallely with a Colonel Paul Aquino. And Colonel Aquino was a Satanist. He is a Satanist. The founder of the Temple of Set. He was
two man to Anton LaVey.
Right, exactly. That's the man. And I never did say that Major General Vallely was a Satanist. But just the fact that he wrote a paper designed that described a system for mind controlling large groups of people, gave me pause to support Major General Vallely. But as I got to speaking with Colonel Riley and hearing what he has to say, and Colonel Riley is the one that's in charge of Operation American Spring. Let's make no mistake about it. He would say that he's not even in charge, but he's the leading personality, and he has said repeatedly that Major General Vallely has no official part of Operation American Spring, which is why I ended up throwing my support behind it. And I hope that we can get those 30 million American patriots into Washington, D.C. But then again, then I'm thinking that might scare Obama just enough that that'll be the trigger for him to do something stupid. And when it comes to doing something stupid, I don't put anything past Barry Soetoro. Not a thing.
Yeah, Bathos Barry has a history of overreacting, and his notion of dealing with people, you don't negotiate, you crush. And so people who are coming fully within their rights to seek redress, as is the right of every American to address grievances to the powers that be, his reaction is going to be one of not as a patriotic American, one who understands the Constitution, the rule of law. It won't be. So far, he's demonstrated a complete disregard for the rule of law and the Constitution. So what do you think is going to happen May 16th? It's going to be interesting.
It definitely is. It's going to be one for the books. And hopefully The Truth is Viral will be there streaming live from Washington, D.C.
Well, I hope you interview me on the steps of the Capitol.
Well, brother, if you're there and I'm there, I definitely will seek you out. There's no doubt about that, because Jim, I really do appreciate everything that you are personally doing, and the danger that you're putting yourself in to bring the truth to the world. And I know it's not easy. And
but because you're doing it too, Bobby. So it's a mutual admiration society. We're both standing up. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show again, Jim, and it always is. You're a great fella. Folks, my guest this evening has been Dr. Jim Garrow, philanthropist and humanitarian, just all-around great guy. Because of him, more than 40,000 young Chinese girls are alive and enjoying their lives, and that is the single greatest accomplishment that I could think of for anybody. It's just a great thing, Jim, and you ought to be really proud of that.
Thank you. Well, we got one last thing to cover.
Sure, what's that?
And that's this: RadioFreeAmerica.ca. RadioFreeAmerica.ca. When Obama, either through an EMP, does away with all radio communications, or grabs totally all communications in the United States, we will have 3 boats on the Canadian side of the border fully able to broadcast across America and reestablish communications. Now, 2 years ago, I ordered the first boat when I first realized where this was going to go. So now what we're doing is putting it together. So there's a Facebook site, a group you can join, RadioFreeAmerica.ca. And right now I'm funding it myself, but other people are starting to wake up and donating here and there, which is very nice. We appreciate it.
Well, that's great. That actually sounds like a topic for another show. Yeah, I like that idea. Pirate radio.
That's
Radio.
exactly. In fact, on the site, I talk about go look at the movie Pirate Radio.
Yeah.
Get a sense of what it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, Dr. Garrow, thank you very much for being on The Truth is Viral.
Thank
You have a
Bobby.
good night, sir.
It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be with another patriot. Take care, guys. God bless.
Semper Fi and hoorah.
The world sure is going to hell in a handbasket. Courtesy of Barack Hussein Obama and forces as yet unseen, but we know who they are, don't we? So I did promise to tell you why I was here having a beer. Well, it's as simple as this. It's been a bad month. Really. My OGs know that my wife Glenn's been fighting this colorectal and liver cancer for over a year. She's undergone 31 treatments. It's chemotherapy so far. And we thought we had it licked. Until a PET scan revealed that she has two new areas of cancer, one in her liver and another in her colon. So the chemotherapy is not working anymore. Don't expect any tears, I'm all cried out. There's one more type of chemotherapy to try. The only problem with that is that it exacerbates neuropathy, and she was already disabled with diabetic neuropathy long before she ever got the cancer. That wasn't good. So this last course promises to be painful too. I have never seen anybody fight as hard to live as this woman has fought. Then 2 weeks ago, find out one of my best friends ever in this life, an old Marine Corps buddy, for crying out loud, has mesothelioma. Two days ago, one of my few real life friends here in Alpena, JD, the guy whose picture you saw at the beginning of the show, that's him right there. He was sitting in that seat right there where I was sitting just a minute ago. I walked out the back door, got in my truck and went home. JD walked out this door and dropped dead of a heart attack. I think I figured out what this is all about. And God's taken everything that I love, so that I will have no distractions. what Patrick Swayze say in the original Red Dawn? Let it turn, Robert. Let it turn. I've kind of had it easy. You know, I guess with Delenn, I've been able to prepare myself to lose her. I didn't have that luxury with my daughter or with JD, so you know, they were just gone. So once again, I'll tell you guys the truth, and I want you to take it to heart. We are not guaranteed another breath. None of us. I could drop dead right this second. That might be a mercy.
What's that? You guys have police tonight? Yeah.
But that's up to God, not me. You could drop dead. Anybody that you love could drop dead. My daughter was only 24 years old. She dropped dead of a heart attack. Don't let a day go by without telling the people you love that you love them. That's my bit of wisdom for today. Because if you do, if you let issues go and conflicts go unresolved, you're going to regret it. Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. My name's Bob Powell. And as always, God bless. Semper Fi. Hoorah.
Thank you for watching The Truth is Viral with your host, Bobby Powell. Make sure to follow The Apocalypse on Twitter at The Truth is Viral. Like The Truth is Viral on Facebook, and if you can, please remember to donate to the cause via PayPal at www.bobpowell.blogspot.com.